What I learned after spending 14 grand on Facebook ads for a mortgage broker. This is the hard part of Facebook ads, right? Every other mortgage broker, financial business or service business is offering exactly the same thing. So I've spent over £14,000 running Facebook ads for a mortgage broker, and I'm going to share with you the 5 lessons that I've learned while doing this. All the data I'm about to share with you is based on real data from a client called the UKMC, and I'm going to share with you how we took them from a bang average 45 leads per month to hitting over 100 leads every single month while reducing the marketing spend by 25k. These lessons will save you time, money, headaches, and importantly, it will stop your reliance on using lead aggregators that are giving you the same old shite leads that every single mortgage broker is also hammering as well. Lesson 1, get your FCA number approved and get yourself in the right special ad category. With mortgage brokers, Facebook is extremely picky, and it's bloody annoying. So you need to make sure, first things first, that when you're setting up your campaigns, when you're going through who to target, and it's really early on in campaign level lists, that you select the right special ad categories. Otherwise, Facebook will not let you advertise. You'll be wondering why you can't move on and you can't get your campaign sorted. So you need to put yourself in the right category. We put ourselves in the financial services sector category and the housing and services category. This managed to let us start running ads on the platform. Next, once you've got through this and you get a little bit further on the line, you will be able to start running ads, but if you don't get your FCA number approved, so if you don't have an FCA number, I'd suggest you go and try and get one. If not, it's going to be really difficult for you to run ads. So, you know, most of you at this level of the same level as the UKMC that's earning quite a lot every single month, then you will have an FCA number. But what you need to do is you need to go and get this approved on Facebook. And for example, the challenge we had, we tried to do it without it at first. And for instance, we found an ad, it generated 100 leads in 30 days. And then all of a sudden, bang. Because we didn't have the FCA number approved, Facebook took a keener interest in it because it had generated more leads than ever. And it rejected the ad randomly after working for like 30 days. So we were just like absolutely stumped here. So what we did, we went, got the FCA number approved, which was a bit tricky because the UKMC had their FCA account linked to their office landline number. Now with Facebook, it needs somewhere to send a code. So we had to go through a bit of pain. We had to get the owner to change the number to his mobile number. So once Facebook, you know, got our request, it could send the code to his mobile because it's really difficult to send a text to a landline. Don't know why they can't do it, but it wasn't working. And that's how we finally got it approved. But we were facing rejection after rejection. They were spending hours filming new video ads for this, and they just kept getting rejected. It was really frustrating, really difficult for me as the advertiser on their behalf as well, because I had less to test with. So you need to make sure your FCA number's approved and get that compliance piece. Like I said, Meta is an absolute pain in the arse when it comes to finance and mortgage brokers. So you need to make sure you got the approval from the right authority. Lesson 2 is target through your creative, your images and videos, and don't mess about with detailed targeting in the back end of Meta. Meta is actively removing the targeting options from the back end because what Meta keeps banging on about is they want you to reach your customers or potential customers through what you're advertising. That's how it defines what a good ad is. So you need to start calling out your customer, whoever you want to target, through your images, through your videos. And then Meta is that smart now. It will just go and it will find people who you want to target and people like it who will click through on your ads and go through and want to purchase and buy your services. What we did with the UKMC, so they already had a campaign running, it was way too complicated. There was too much detailed targeting going on, so we trimmed it all back, we simplified the campaign, and we encouraged them and we helped them target through their ads. So we went through quite an in-depth session with them, strategy session, where we looked at the competitors in the market. So there were some big national competitors, you know, targeting doctors, nurses, lawyers. The ads were running for quite a while because you can see this. If you go on Facebook ad library, you can see what your competitors are doing. So we looked at them and thought, look, they're directly calling out their ideal customers for what they're selling in the remortgage world. So we need to do a similar thing, but target other people. So we didn't want to do the same as them. So what we did was we looked at it and we thought, who really needs a remortgage? What kinds of people have a remortgage? And we came together and we decided, let's go for homeowning parents. These are the kind of people that own houses. They've got a few kids, maybe young kids. Let's go directly for them and target them explicitly. So what we did, like I said, we dropped the detailed targeting. We altered our videos. We altered our static creatives to really speak and really focus on home owning parents. We tapped into what they'd be really thinking about too. So with the messaging, it was like affordability, legacy, family, kids, and protecting their future. So it's really, really important to remember that you need to focus on whatever your messaging is, whatever your videos are, call out the direct people that you want to work with, and simply Meta will just find them for you. Lesson 3 is your offer will make and break your campaign. And what I mean by this is if you've got the same old generic offer of free consultation or free book call or free discovery session, whatever it may be, it's generic. Every single person out there is expecting it. And I tell you what, every other mortgage broker, financial business or service business is offering exactly the same thing. So why would they choose you over anyone else in the market? So you've got to do some real thinking here with your offer. And this is the hard part of Facebook ads, right? Is thinking about this offer, thinking about what your competitive advantage is, and thinking how can you stand out from the other mortgage broker 10 feet down the road. What we did here for the UKMC, and I really had to push hard from this, I had to not argue, but I had to stand my ground, had to stand with my beliefs, and I had to keep on pushing with the owner to figure out what we could do for this offer. And in this case, it turned out, you know, with these mortgage companies, sometimes they have other arms. In this case, they had a sister company called Trustify and they offered wills. So what we worked out was we could actually offer a free will with the remortgage, which worked really well with the home owning parents, you know, targeting type, because these kind of parents are thinking about family, protecting futures, protecting the kids' futures. So by having a will, it really gave them that peace of mind. So it was a really brilliant offer. And, you know, we worked that out very quickly, partnered them with the ads, and this really helped skyrocket the results from some mediocre results to this 100 leads plus every single month. And if you're struggling with the offer yourself, then I've put this video up here. It's a 4-part framework on how to create an offer. All you have to do is click on it, watch it, and you'll be able to plug these principles into your business, and it'll help guide your thoughts on what you can do as a business, how you can dig out your competitive advantage, and you can craft an offer that's different from the same service provider as you that's, you know, down the road, in your town, in your area. Lesson 4, the female-led ads we ran outperformed the male ones. Now, a lot of people are probably sat here thinking, well, no shit, mate, like, of course, fucking females are going to outperform the men, but it's not always like that, and that's why it's important to test both. Yeah, in our case for the UKMC, the female-led ads, they got better click-through rates, lower cost per leads, more impressions, etc. So it was just good to test the male versus female, but now we know we need to lead with more female-led ads. And there could be a number of reasons for this. Usually the boss of the house is the woman, and usually they deal with this house type stuff. So it could be the case that, you know, woman on woman ad was resonating far better than, you know, male on woman audience that's looking at the ad. So that could be a true reason why that these ads perform better. But, you know, unless we get some real feedback, we wouldn't know. All we know is we got more leads through the female ads, so that's where we put our money. The lesson here is always test a lot. It's not one size fits all, and, you know, vary your ads. Don't do the same person, don't do the same background, don't do the same, you know, gender all the time. You know, you need to figure out what actually performs best for your audience. Lesson 5 was, if you're running lead form ads, use rich creative lead forms. Now, if you're a beginner or you need to simplify your ad campaign, you're not getting results, I'd always recommend using this rich creative lead form, particularly before you even think about running ads to a landing page, because it's easier to get results to a lead form than it is a website. That's because the lead form, it keeps everything within the Facebook platform. There's less barriers, there's less friction for your customer to actually go and inquire for what you're doing, keeps them all together. So the benefit of this rich creative lead form is that it allows you to basically make a mini website, a mini landing page within Facebook. You can put things about your business, social proof, reviews, a nice banner on the top with your offer, with what it is that you do. So it looks really nice and it looks really concise. And if you marry things up to the ad, it does really well and it converts really well for your business. And why it worked, like I said, it allowed us to put more things about the UKMC. It actually allowed us to pre-qualify because you can set a load of pre-qualification questions. Recommendation would be, don't do too many questions. Keep it brief, stick to 3 to 5 max. Try and make it multiple choice. So when we tried multiple choice versus long form text entry, the text entry sometimes gets a load of shit, doesn't do as well, people try and skip it. So give them multiple choice, think about the questions. What do you need to know in order to qualify this as a suitable lead for you? Plus, lead forms, generally speaking, more trackable, really easy to link into a CRM system if you have one. And, as compared to a landing page where you have to, use a tool like Zapier to try and ping the lead and the transaction or the form submission on your site over to your CRM. So start with the lead form, worry about the website later. Yes, you'll get higher quality leads to a landing page, but if you can't make it work through a lead form, you just won't happen through your website. When it came to results for the UKMC, they were really fantastic. So we took them from a bog standard 45 leads per month to over 100 leads every single month for them. We also managed to cut the marketing spend by 25k. They were spending so much on lead aggregators because that's all they knew and that's what they were doing before they could make Facebook work for them. So, they were buying these leads from lead aggregators. They were getting shit quality. Yeah, they were a bit cheaper, but, every other mortgage broker was also buying the leads. So hundreds of mortgage brokers were working the same pool of leads. It was really cold. They had no introduction to the company. Of course, it was really, really difficult to actually get people to close from these lead aggregators. So that took that away, saved them about 25k on the marketing budget. So that was great. It didn't just generate them a whole host of ROI. It actually saved them spend on the marketing budget that they could reinvest into other areas like getting a new CRM and things like that. Also, the ads came predictable, more scalable. We were increasing the spend. The pipeline for the sales team was full. It was that full at one point. We had to pause them for a little bit to allow the sales team to catch up a little bit and really dial in on the leads that they've got. So we actually reduced the spend for a short period until the sales team catched up. But that is exactly what we want. We want the business to be busting at the seams with leads that specifically chose the UKMC as their mortgage broker of choice. So if you're a mortgage broker or a financial business, you're not getting the leads or the results that you want, then I can help you. All you have to do is reach out. In the description, I've got my LinkedIn page where you can reach out to me on there. I've got my email address and I've got my company website, WA5 Marketing. Get in touch and we'll see if we can do a similar thing for you. So if you like this video, you might like this one here. YouTube recommends it, so YouTube knows us better than we know ourselves. So definitely click on it, give it a watch. Trying to give away a ton of value, dropping these videos every single week. So nice one, and I'll see you in the next video.